Good afternoon, BC. This is doompaul doing another show. Got another 3 records to bring to you today. Um, Sorry about not having a show last week, but I was in Hawaii for my birthday, swimming with turtles, hanging with the wife, and going to luau's and such, so I don't feel so bad. Um, got another 3 records for you today that one should be an old staple that you guys should all know and love. The rest of them should be one you might not know, and one's probably going to cause some controversy. Anyway, Hawaii, man. So we went to the Big Island of Kona, which is just beautiful. My friend Jeremy lives out there, and he's a beautiful property, and hung out with him, and got to swim with some turtles, and did a little thrift shopping, and went into this one antique store, and it had just all this vinyl on the floor. And first thing I see is the first Deep Purple. And I was like, because I know I did not have room in my bag with all the Aloha shirts and stuff that we were buying to, get on the airplane home. And I kept digging and I kept finding more and more stuff. And I was just like, so if you live on Kona by any chance, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's right near that big hotel on the main strip, and the island's not so big that you know what I'm talking about, near Kona. Anyway, but let's get back to the records. So the first record I'm going to be talking about today is Cactus Restrictions. I just picked this up the other day, and it has been blowing my mind. There's not a lot of things that blow my mind lately, and this actually has. So it's been pretty great listening to this Atco. It's either their second or third record. I can't figure it out exactly. They released 2 in 1971, and this one has some amazing tracks on it, like Restrictions, Bag Drag. There's not a stinker on here. I've just been listening to this nonstop. And I kicked myself now because when I was in South Carolina, Aaron pulled out the first one out of the dollar bin. It was like beat to shit, but it was still the first Cactus. And I was like, yeah, I'll wait for a better copy. And now I'm kind of like, I shouldn't have, because this is just so good to listen to. Just so amazing. I just have not had enough. I cannot get enough of this. So I'm on the hunt for the rest of the Cactus collection. For sure. The second record that I'm going to be going over is something that I don't usually like all that much, and that is tech death metal. Technical death metal. This is Rings of Saturn. It's actually is on loan to me from my friend Heath, who was on the show last time. I'll show you the gatefold. I actually originally borrowed this just because I thought the art was just so amazing, and I thought it was pretty fancy. And this here, the actual record itself is pretty rad as far as it goes. And I don't usually care two shits about, the color of the pressing or anything like that. I usually just go for black vinyl, because everything I've heard, and if I'm wrong, please let me know, black vinyl actually sounds better than any of these colored ones. Now, this might not be true still, but anyway, onto the record. It's the record's actually a Lugal Ki Ein, or In, which I don't know much about this band. I know this was released in 2014, and I put it on, and with all this, I was kind of hoping more for like a sort of traditional heavy metal, just from the graphics, and was a little disappointed when I found out it was tech death. But here's the thing. As far as tech death goes, this is some stuff that I can actually listen to. So if you've ever been turned off to tech death, uh, this might actually be a good jumping on point because it it's got enough interludes and sort of proggy, you know, bits and stuff like that that break up. That it really isn't like too much, and that's always my problem with tech death. It's just too much. Yes, you can play your drums really fast. Yes, you can play those chords really crazily fast. And you're boring me. You're boring me to death with your fancy math playing. This actually, it has enough interludes and stuff like that where it kept me interested. I listened to the whole thing, and I I think I stopped once and re-put it on later, but I was actually pretty impressed. Will I come back to it time and time again? I don't know. But if I had to pick up a tech death metal record, this would be the one I would pick up. I was pretty impressed. So thanks for the loan, Heath. It was nice having you on the show last week, or last whenever. Now, for the final record of the show, and I know this is gonna cause some waves because all right, well, let's just say it's baby metal resistance. And this was a birthday present to me from my good friend Kyle. You know, you can baby metal's sort of like Manowar. You can either dig them or you can hate them, and it all depends on how much cheese you're willing to swallow. Now, here's the thing about metal: if you can't accept that metal is 100% cheese, then you're listening to metal wrong. Look at bands like Grim Reaper. Look at bands like, Manowar. Look at pretty much most of the 80s. Cheese. Straight cheese. So you can choose to buy into it or not. Now, you're going to say, yeah, Paul, that's true. But really, baby metal, 18-year-old, 16-year-old girls dancing around to like some generic metal stuff. Yes, and let me tell you why. Because, there has to be a next generation to carry this whole thing on. And I remember about 15 years ago or 10 years ago, I don't know, where I started listening to metal again. Or so I thought. I had put it away for years and years and years. Probably from the time I was like 21 or to the time I was like 30 or something like that. And what got me back into it was, believe it or not, System of a Down. Which I look back on now and I sort of cringe. I'm like, ugh. Because to my more trained ear now, it's pretty terrible. Some people love it, and that's great. I don't want to take that away from anybody. For me, I'm kind of like, it's kind of repetitive. It's kind of, but baby metal might be something that turns some new person onto metal, and it could be a good starting point for stuff. Their video for Karate is hilarious. It's like a little anime. And I would say probably about 10% of this record is actually metal. The backing band is pretty good. The lead singer, her name is Sue Metal, I guess, is actually pretty good. But is it ridiculous? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Is it fantastic? No. But do I love it? Totally. I totally do. In the way that I love Manowar. I mean, it's just so over the top and so ridiculous that it's hard not to have a warm spot in your heart for it. So, I know that one is going to raise some eyebrows, and whatever. I don't care. I can chew a bone for all I care. It's a it's an odd selection. But anyway, I guess that's all I get to say. I got some steaks to cook and some dinner to make. So just wanted to go over my 3 for the week. And good to talk to you guys, VC. I've been watching all your stuff. And feel free to comment and all that stuff. All right, thanks. Late.